You've helped Georgia Tech achieve the highest national rankings in its storied history. So you can see that you're leaving our campus with a degree that really means something special. Still, the pace of change today means that education has become a K through grade activity. And anyone that doesn't continue to learn will be left behind. So I encourage you to never stop learning. You're primed to be among the technological leaders of our nation and the world. Nurture your talents, balance your career with your family and your service to your community, as our other speakers have said, and you will become one of those tech graduates that we read about and brag about as great success stories. I wish you all the best in the future. To induct our graduates in this special group, I'd like to present Mr. C. Meade Sutterfield, class of 1972. He's a private equity investor, a very successful businessman, and he advises venture capital firms. He's chair of the Georgia Tech Alumni Association, and he will induct all of you into the Georgia Tech Alumni Association. And he is a great friend of Georgia Tech and spends a great deal of time giving us his energies and time. We hope you will emulate him in the future. Meade?
Thank you, and on behalf of 115,000 fellow alumni, let me welcome you to the Georgia Tech Alumni Association. Most of y'all have been at this for about 10 years since you matriculated your first year of college to get through your PhD. I want you to think for a minute how much technology has changed. And even in the field of study where you're getting your PhD, you may have pushed a frontier forward. Things change very quickly. I started school 40 years ago, so I have a little longer perspective. And one of the things you realize is that not only are things changing, they keep changing at a faster and faster rate. Second derivative, for those in the audience, you'll figure it out. There's a very popular website which talks about world dynamics, and it's called Shift Happens. That's S-H-I-F-T, Shift Happens. You can look it up on their own website or Google it. It's very interesting for anyone who's in technology. One of their slides claims that at the beginning of this decade, the amount of scientific information doubled every 2 years, and that by 2010, it will double every 72 hours. Now, I'm not sure that's true, but just the direction of that statement is staggering. The world does change. Let me take that another way. Let's look back at Georgia Tech in 1972 when I graduated. Georgia Tech was one of the top 5 engineering schools in the Southeast. Our peers were Florida, Auburn, Clemson, and North Carolina State. The idea that Tech would be a top 10 public school was a laughable notion. In fact, we figured well out of the top 50 the first year that study was published. But today, of course, this is a much different Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is ranked number 4 among engineering schools in the world, or in the United States, probably pretty close to that in the world. It is in the top 10, number 7 public schools. Our management school has moved into the top 30 rankings for the first time in its history. And our scientific areas, the College of Sciences is starting to move into those rankings. We continue to get better. Some other indicators that Georgia Tech has a newfound respect. GATech, pretty well-known school, just hired our provost, Jean-Louis Chameau, to be their new president. But most of all, and this is particularly important for those parents and spouses in the room, employers value Georgia Tech. They're actually probably Tech's highest rankings because they want to hire you. Last year, GE hired 53 of our graduates. Cisco rates its Tech graduates number 1 among all universities. And in fact, in the words of a Cisco executive who is not himself a Tech graduate, Tech grads are prepared, know how to work, and hit the ground running. Here's a little secret. It's not the Georgia Tech you went to the day you graduated that matters to you in the future. People don't measure me by the standards of 1972 Georgia Tech, as they won't measure you. They'll look at where Georgia Tech is at the time they're looking at you. So your future and Georgia Tech's, and I might add, Georgia Tech's future and your future are inextricably linked. How did Tech improve so much? Well, Tech's trajectory really took off in 1971 when Joe Pettit came to be the president of Georgia Tech. He knew that the research and graduate schools had to become outstanding for Georgia Tech to become outstanding. That led to better faculty and facilities, which led to better students in both the graduate and undergraduate areas. Every president since then has reinforced that cycle, none more ably than in the past 14 years, our own alum and 10th president, Wayne Clough. What else can tech do for you in the future?